All right, today we have a 99 Bravada. The lady complains that this car, whenever she drives it, it pulls right when she pulls into her driveway, and actually, it has a little popping and noise that she hears from the bottom of it. So we're gonna do a dry park test and a few tests on this car to check out and see what her problem is, so we can get this lady safely down the road. All right, drove the vehicle. We did a few turns in it. I did hear a little popping sound, a little stuff that's going on under there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it in and we're gonna do a test on it. Lift it up in the air, wiggle the wheels a little bit, look for any loose parts, suspension parts, and hopefully we find a problem. We will find a problem in this vehicle, and we will get this lady out of here as soon as possible. All right, right now we're going to check the air pressure in the tires and make sure that we have the proper PSI in each tire. If you wanted to look for this, you can open up the doors on the vehicle's driver's side, and you should be able to find the specs for the tires. I believe the specs for this car is 32 PSI, but let's be sure. Yep, if you can see there, it's 32 PSI, 35 basically at the max. How's it looking down there?
Get her done.
Get her done. That's right, Fave. Look good? All four tires in spec?
Yep.
All right. Next thing we will do is do a bounce test on it. The bounce test, we should push the vehicle down, and it should only bounce 1.5 times to make sure that nothing's wrong with the shocks. Seems pretty good. Actually, this doesn't have those. This has torsion bars, right?
Torsion, but no shocks.
No shocks, torsion bars. All right, next we would do a dry park test where we would lift the vehicle and look for, not lift the vehicle, but look under the vehicle and look for any loose or broken suspension parts.
Under the car here really quick. I'm gonna look for any loose suspension parts. While Larry's inside there, turn the wheel back and forth. We're doing a dry park test.
Two technicians are required for this.
Looks like the only thing I can really see wrong is a ripped tie rod boot. Inner tie rod boot is ripped. Other than that, everything seems fine.
All right. Right now we're doing a ride height test. Since this is a 99 Bravada, it is equipped with torsion bars, not springs or shocks or anything of that nature. It's a torsion bar that's connected to the lower control arm of the vehicle. So specs say we should check the ride height from the bottom of the steering knuckle across and up. It should be 5 inches to the pivot bolt. So we check that. Okay. pencil. Five inches. On this, it said it should measure 4.6 to 5 inches from the steering knuckle to the pivot bolt. So this angle here coming across and then down is 5 inches. So the ride height on here is in.
Okay, we're gonna start the rollback test now. We just gotta push the car back. We gotta put it neutral and push the car back and forth until the machine says it's lined up right. And then you can stop that.
We gotta raise it up some.
No, we don't. This is neutral. Here are all the vehicle specs, and we're going to try to get all the angles, camber, caster, and toe into these specs.
Okay, now we're doing a caster sweep. A caster sweep is performed by turning the wheels from the steering wheel inside the vehicle from side to side until the machine detects all of the caster angles. So we'll start by doing this by turning to the left until it meets in the green. Perfect. To the right. All right, with this we do a, which is called a 5-wheel alignment. We start with rear camber and rear toe. Then we do caster camber toe in the front. This specific vehicle doesn't have any rear camber adjustable points. Some vehicles do have camber which can be adjusted by adding shims, but this here vehicle doesn't have rear camber or rear toe that can be adjusted. So we will start in the front by starting with the front caster. Caster affects camber, camber affects toe. So we go in that specific order, and we will start from the front. Here we have adjustable alignments on the Hunter machine. We also have videos you can watch that aid and assist you in looking at what needs to be done to change the angles. Here we have caster. We can click here and we can go to video adjustments, and it will show you a full-length video of exactly what needs to be done to adjust the caster in the right way.
Caster and or camber can be adjusted on upper control arms which have eccentrics. Loosen both retaining nuts. Then adjust camber and or caster by rotating the eccentrics. Tighten retaining nuts to manufacturer's specifications and remeasure caster and camber.
Okay, what the video was explaining is how we adjust the caster in here with it is eccentric cams on the upper control arm. This is what we will be adjusting to adjust caster for this vehicle. Cut it off when you get this that part. Just tell them caster is already in spec.
As we can see here by the green letters, caster is already in spec, so we don't need to adjust the caster at all. Since we have the camber out of spec over here on the right wheel, we'll slightly adjust the camber to make it a little bit more positive. You know it's better than spec. But just for the sake of it. Actually, this is fucking weird.
Yep, so camber to be adjusted on this vehicle, we tried to go from the bottom, but it looks like we were having a few problems. So my buddy Paul here is gonna go. We raised up the frame, got a few inches of space for him to work in. Now we can reach that upper control arm nice and good, so we can get that camber adjustment going, so we can get the lady on down the road. Okay, now that we have adjusted camber and caster on this vehicle, we will use this here. We will first steer the steering wheels, loosen them up until we get it nice and straight. Make sure our tires are straight. And we will lock this tire down, this steering wheel down, brother. And we will now be available to adjust the toe in this vehicle while adjusting the tie rod sleeves on the bottom. You can show them different car. Locked into position. Now to adjust the toe in this vehicle, remember we talked earlier, first we start with rear camber and rear toe. Rear camber and rear toe is not adjusted in this vehicle, so we start with the front and we go from caster, front camber, which we did with the eccentric cams on the upper control arm of this vehicle. Then we just set the steering wheel, which is our fifth wheel part of the alignment. Now we will align the toe, and aligning the toe actually allows us to adjust here, which is our tie rod. The lower tie rod is here, comes in the tire, and right here above the tie rod, and the end is here. This is where the busted boot is on her vehicle. Come this way. You can see this. Don't know if you can see it too well. Get the light. There we go. This is the lower tie rod. And this is the adjusting sleeve. We will loosen these bolts here, and we will turn the sleeve, which will allow it to go in and out, which adjusts the toe for this vehicle. All right, now we will start by adjusting the tie rod sleeve. I just unloosened it, so now we will be able to adjust this sleeve. We can turn it now to adjust, and it should take the toe in or out as I turn. Right now we're adjusting the toe out. Or you can adjust toe in by going in reverse this way. By doing this, you make the tie rod in shorter or longer, depending on the way you turn.